All right, guys, good evening to you all. My name is Ryan, alongside Joel here.
Good evening, everybody.
We are the Michigan Storm Chasers. Going to have an evening update for you guys. We've been getting a lot of questions about what to expect still today, this afternoon, across our platforms Twitter, Facebook, messages, emails, etc., etc. So, to better group you all together and give you guys the update, what to expect tonight and tomorrow, perhaps with remnant Hurricane Beryl. We're going to go ahead and start with what's going on right now across the state with live radar. So first and foremost we do have active flood advisories in effect. Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun, Jackson, Ingham, and Eaton counties all within a flood advisory. Low-lying areas are prone to flooding. Those areas, especially, some flooding could be going on there. Lansing especially got hit hard. But we have two flood warnings currently in effect for the state. We have one in Kalamazoo County for, in particular, the Vicksburg area. Again, that's going to be in effect until further notice. Flood advisory there, as well as Cass and Berrien counties under a flood warning as well until further notice. Outside of that, rain is continuing to push northward. Some heavier rain moving up into the state as we speak. That will continue to strengthen as well as increase in coverage and intensity as the evening goes on. So, especially closer to the midnight time frame, expect that rain to really start ramping up. 1 inch per hour rates, perhaps in some spots. Not out of the question. But looking at the models and what to expect as far as additional accumulation of rain and perhaps some severe chances tomorrow, let's go ahead and dive over here to our model. Go ahead and flip our screen over here to what to expect with the model here. There we go. So this is a model look here starting at the current time frame, which is 9 o'clock, which is right there. So going into the evening hours, scattered showers and storms remain possible, especially across south central Michigan. There's your heaviest rain. Here's midnight tonight, pushing up into the 94 corridor. That's at midnight. Let's go forward a few hours. Let's go to 2 in the morning. There's your heaviest rain and perhaps rumble of thunder there overnight tonight. There's 2. Here's 3. That's going to be the heaviest, about 2 to about 7 in the morning tomorrow is going to be the heaviest across south central Michigan. And then the break mid-morning here is what we're going to have to watch there in southeast Michigan, especially. But more rain on the backside of that low possible throughout the morning into the early afternoon hours tomorrow. And then as we get into the later evening hours toward the midnight time frame tomorrow into Thursday morning, at that point, we start getting rid of the rain and we should be drying out there for our Thursday. Now, the dry slot, we're going to call it dry slot here, between this bulk of rain and we have some showers down here in Ohio. That's what we're going to have to keep an eye on tomorrow for severe weather chances. We'll cover that here in a second. As far as the updated models is in terms of how much additional rainfall to expect, that flood watch remains in effect for most all of south central Michigan. Here's your additional rainfall here through tomorrow around 1 p.m., just afternoon. We're seeing additional rainfall accumulation of 1 to upwards of 4+ inches on the latest model guidance here. So we've been talking about this rain, afternoon rain, all day long, yesterday as well. We got hit hard at Lansing, Kalamazoo County, Berrien County, a couple areas here, Genesee as well, Macomb County as well. Isolated pockets here of heavier rain. The bulk of the rain is still to come overnight tonight. This is not started yet at all with the remnants of Hurricane Beryl. So the 1 to 4 forecast we had out is still to come on top of what's already fallen. Now, the heaviest swath is going to be kind of up in the air still. We do expect the heaviest swath somewhere from Berrien County all the way over to roughly the Coldwater area and then points northeastward into the Thumb. That should be your corridor of higher amounts. But notice on the latest model here, there's a swath over here in eastern Michigan also of 1 to 3+ inches of rain. From Monroe, Lenawee County, Washtenaw, Livingston, up toward Genesee and Lapeer counties as well. Keep an eye on that. Currently, Hillsdale, Lenawee, and Monroe counties are not under a flood watch. They may be added additionally sometime between now and perhaps morning. But do keep in mind that latest guidance does bring some heavier rainfalls to those counties that are currently not within that flood watch. All right. Now, the heaviest rain again is going to fall overnight tonight, but the severe chance is going to heavily depend again on how well we dry out tomorrow morning. So looking at the model here, we're going to have that morning shower, morning round there, move out. This dry slot here, we'll go ahead and draw here. So kind of highlight a little bit better for you guys. This dry slot, we're going to call this more of a drier slot. That is going to work up into southeast Michigan here by probably mid-morning, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. If we can dry out and develop instability, the early afternoon, perhaps late morning time frame would be concerning for perhaps a severe storm or two, especially in southeastern Michigan. We're talking like Monroe, Lenawee, Washout, Wayne, Macomb, Livingston counties, all the way up to Lapeer, and I think it's St. Clair County as well. Those counties in particular, the farthest east 2 tiers of counties is going to be the main concern for anything, if anything can happen. Looking at the latest guidance on the instability wind shear overlap, it does try to push in there. Still, we looked at this last night too. If you joined our stream last night, the very far eastern 2 tiers of counties here do try to sneak in to a better environment there. So that clear slot is going to come in it's going to be the bigger picture to watch there, because the more we dry out, the more instability we're going to build for these storms potentially for the afternoon time frame tomorrow. So if severe occurs, damaging winds and a few weak brief tornadoes would be the potential. Now, the highest is going to be off to our east across northern Ohio into Pennsylvania and also Ontario. But we are monitoring that very extreme eastern side of southeastern Michigan for that potential severe threat. So, is it a high threat? No. Is it a threat we're going to mention for you guys? Yes, it is, because every threat needs to be mentioned here. And we're seeing this consistently since last night, the signal there for the environment to become at least marginally favorable for severe. Outside of that, the SPC does not have any severe risks for Michigan currently, but we do have a few risks to talk about via WPC. The Weather Prediction Center has South Central Michigan in a slight and marginal risk for excessive rainfall tonight up until 8 a.m. And then tomorrow, we are again in a slight risk for excessive rainfall across much of lower Michigan, with that slight risk still for South Central. So that just means we're going to have a lot of rain expected. Flooding is likely in various areas. It's already happened in various areas. Additional 1 to 4 plus still to come. All right. So there is your update, guys. Rain starting right around midnight. Heavy rain about midnight. It's going to last until morning. We should dry out just a bit across South Central, especially southeastern Michigan, and then additional rain in the backside as we move toward the afternoon and evening and Wednesday. Into Thursday morning, we're going to clear out and become drier across much of the state. All right. Any questions, guys?
I already had a comment about our slim.
So slim hasn't really changed much. Your shear is there. We have a lot of spit in the atmosphere, so your shear is A-okay. Then your lift, with the low pressure being so close to us, that's going to provide some lift there. So shear and lift are good. Instability is still in question. Moisture is good. It's a tropical system, really moist system. But your main question mark tomorrow is going to be the I in slim, the instability. And that's going to be, again, that dry slot we're going to watch around the mid-morning to afternoon time frame. If we dry out in southeast Michigan, our I in slim goes up. Again, flood watches are in effect across much of South Central Michigan. I can go ahead and try and pull that up here real quick for you guys.
We got Chandler here too.
The only counties not included currently in a flood watch are Lenawee, Monroe, and Hillsdale in South Central Michigan. All other counties are in that flood watch. What's up, Chandler?
What's up, guys?
So there's your flood watch there, guys, in green. So again, the only counties not included very far southeast. Wouldn't be shocked if we get advisories or something down there with the latest model trends. Kind of watch that closer. But all of southeast Michigan minus Lenawee, Monroe, Hillsdale, all the way back toward Lansing, Grand Rapids. I believe Mount Pleasant's in that, as well as Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Coldwater, Berrien County. So you guys are all within that flood watch there. Another thing to mention as well, guys, I see a comment in here about wind gusts. The winds tomorrow afternoon are going to pick up they shouldn't be too strong. Right around 30 or so miles per hour at most. Hopping on the model here, we give you guys a look into the wind gusts here. I believe, yes, we can. So tomorrow afternoon, the purple colors here, tomorrow morning especially, some wind gusts up to right around 40 miles per hour appear possible in spots here. It's not going to be a widespread wind, it's kind of isolated in nature. But with the saturated soils today, wouldn't take much to get trees to topple over as well as power lines because of the saturated grounds. So 40-mile-per-hour winds could definitely do a little bit of damage here, and power outages may become a concern, especially if these winds reach their peak, 40, perhaps 45 in spots.
Somebody's got the same thoughts that I do. Imagine if all this was snow.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have a lot of snow.
Winter storm warning for sure.
Alicia asked me, Chandler, were you out recently chasing some major out-of-state storms? A couple months ago I was. About 6, 7, 8 weeks ago I was.
My chat's lagging again.
I'm lagging?
No, I'm lagging.
I was gonna say, I really wish this was snow, because if we could hit the cold sector on a snowstorm like this, be worth having a snowmobile.
Don't say the S word, people are saying.
Grand Rapids, what's going to see? Rain. Rain. Severe weather chances outside of the extreme eastern portions of southeast Michigan. It's just going to be rain outside those areas.
Can you explain why slight risk if we are getting such large amount of rain that is leading to flooding? So slight risk is for excessive rainfall. And basically that's the same thing as probabilities for kind of similar to what the SPC does for severe weather, where the Weather Prediction Center also does probabilities. So in a marginal for the Weather Prediction Center, it's a 5% chance of excessive rain. And in your slight risk there that you see on screen is 15%. So it's kind of, almost the same thing as the SPC, except they do severe, WPC does rain.
And there's tonight's up until 8 a.m. The slight risk extends roughly from the 96 corridor up toward Flint to Port Huron, south to the borders of Ohio and Indiana.
That's been updated. All the counties are now in slight.
You're right.
Down there.
You're right.
So Monroe should be solidly in the slate now too. Severe would be confined to southeast Michigan. So we can't tell you exactly what counties, but southeast Michigan has the greatest chance.
And right now it's still kind of it's still a bit uncertainty there too.
Yeah.
There's your updated WPC excessive rainfall there. The slight risk extends all the way down, as Joel mentioned, to Toledo now. So all of southeast Michigan, all of southwest Michigan is within that slight risk area.
Upgrade to moderate risk for excessive rain, perhaps. We'll see, though.
I would say it's a possibility tomorrow for sure. Especially if this is a little bit heavier than expected. We already had many locations across the state today. Berrien County, I think, had 4 inches. Lansing had 3 or so. There's already a few places here within southern Michigan that have received well over normal.
Timing for this rain will be starting now and through tomorrow evening for pretty much the entirety of the state, pretty much south of Cadillac. A lot of the state's going to see rain tomorrow.
Yeah, the heaviest definitely going to be centered south of Cadillac. If you go back to our precip accumulation, I'll run that through the time frame here. Your heavier swath there in southeast Michigan continues to show up on all these models. I noticed that through the evening. That concerns me a little bit there for the east side. But overall, most of your rain is going to stay well south of, we're going to say, Mount Pleasant to Cadillac area, but still going to see some rain up there. Just the heaviest is going to be further south. Yeah, if there's going to be anything severe tomorrow, it's going to be in the form of damaging winds and a very low chance, should I say, of a few brief, weak tornadoes because there's a lot of spin with these tropical systems. It's not going to take much to get some spin ups to happen, but we need the instability first to become concerned for severe weather. That's the big question. It's definitely not set in stone, and that'd be for the extreme southeast portion of Michigan. I've seen a lot of questions here about tornadoes like tonight and stuff like that because of what Indiana's seeing. That's a very unlikely scenario. The environment down there was very favorable. In fact, they had 10% tornado risk here from the SPC today. So they had a pretty good risk down there. But the environment up here is just not as favorable as it is down there. And I also am aware of a forecast that got sent to us this morning out of Toledo from a meteorologist who suggested tornadoes tonight as well. We just don't see that happening tonight.
Seen a lot of questions for what is Michigan's average rainfall for the entire month of July. That's a good question. I don't know it offhand.
I don't know it either, but I think I can find it here. It varies per location. I can tell you that much. Average Michigan rainfall for July is 2.84 inches.
Wow.
So some locations received double that today, or about double that.
I realized I was muted.
Good job, Joel.
Yeah, somebody was asking about track speed of the hurricane, and well, first of all, it's not a hurricane anymore. Second of all, National Hurricane Center does not post advisories anymore because it is a low pressure system, and so track speed, we can tell you it's going to be very slow because it's going to be dumping a lot of rain.
Yep. We can actually pop out of here and give you guys a live radar look here of what to expect next couple hours here. We got some rain moving into the south portions of the state right now, but looking at around the region here, this is going to fill in overnight tonight. I'm going to animate this for you guys. But movement is right around 25 or so miles an hour with this rain. So
Am I under a flood warning, Ryan?
You're not, no, but just to your north is.
Well.
Yeah, Beryl and Cass County, as well as Kalamazoo and Lansing, all got hit pretty hard with some rain. Current radar here, you got more rain pushing up from the south. That is what's to be expected here overnight tonight. And again, the heaviest arrives closer to midnight. So we're just getting started here. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 counties within a flood advisory or a warning at this point. I mean, it's not really got underway yet. So we're just getting started.
If you live in a area that's prone to flooding, make sure you have your plan in place for the next couple days.
Yeah, and also just be smart and don't drive through flooded roadways. You've seen dozens of photos sent in to us today of cars stalled in the middle of flooded roads. Just don't do it, guys. If you have a car that's parked on a road that floods a lot, put in your driveway. If you can move it to a higher ground, do that because these roads can get flooded really quickly, especially with these tropical air masses here. It can dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So just be smart. Don't drive through flooded waters and take precautions if you can. Winds tomorrow up to 40 miles per hour in isolated spots. It shouldn't become a widespread concern, but isolated spots could definitely see some gustier winds for sure.
Lisa, this won't be just while you sleep. It'll be for quite a good chunk of tonight. It's been for quite a good chunk of today and a good chunk of tomorrow, too.
Suggestions for those in upper level apartments. Well, the good news is you'd be high enough to avoid most of the flooding. You just have to be attentive to any severe warnings that are happening in your area, of course. But again, with the main hazard being flooding, you're more safe than, let's say, your downstairs neighbors.
And also keep in mind, a lot of people haven't really checked in on their sump pumps either. Make sure your sump pumps are working. Basements can flood pretty easily. I know a lot of people are commenting that today. Hey, check your sump pumps, make sure they're working. Good idea to do that too.
All-nighter, Joel?
Maybe. I need to take a nap.
I got to sleep
All right,
tonight,
well,
unfortunately.
I'm going to jump out of here, gentlemen. I'm going to go get a couple things done. So
All right.
good to see a lot of you people in the comments. I'm a little bit behind the scenes right now. Brittany and I are getting our finishing touches on our wedding planning and moving. So we are very busy outside of here.
Excited for what's in store for you, Chandler. Really am.
I'm ready to have it all over.
I feel that. Can you describe what a brief spin-up entails? So, Nicole, that's a good question. A brief spin-up is when conditions are not favorable for long track tornadoes, or should I say longer track tornadoes. They occur in marginal conditions where conditions are kind of right, kind of not right. The shear is there, instability is not there. Sometimes there's weaker shear with the instability there. It's just a term we use to define tornadoes that are going to be weaker in nature and short-lived in nature. Spin-ups can also refer to QLCS, like linear type of events. We have spin-up tornadoes that can occur in those very quickly, very hard to detect. That can also be referred to as spin-up as well. But brief, weak spin-ups would refer to those that are just not expected to be strong and are expected to be weak in nature.
Is Lansing going to get a lot of rain? You guys have already gotten a lot of rain.
You guys were under a flood warning earlier.
Yeah, mainly East Lansing though.
This is a future. This is what's to come with the rain, guys. So what you see on your screen is the model here. Latest model is throwing out what it thinks the latest data inputted to it is. What's just giving us the idea of where the heaviest rain is going to fall. I'm getting tired, guys. Bear with me. But 1 to 4 inches still expected across a good swath of South Central Michigan. See, Penny, thanks for becoming a member for 1 month. Appreciate you upping your membership.
Thank you, Penny. If you check the HREF, I always say check the HREF.
I have not.
Usually a good precipitation model. Trending more east in terms of the center of the low pressure system. Remember, effects can happen away from the low pressure system.
Can I zoom in? I don't use this website too often. Is there a way to zoom in? Oh, there's a sector. Look, never mind. I got it.
You have to
looks like this was what?
Switch your input.
I only have this morning's run. I don't have the latest run.
Oh. Well, as I say, we can't see it either way. I don't know. We don't know what you're looking at. There you go.
Yeah, this is this morning's run, so it's not really updated.
Still, though, good indicator of what's to come.
Yeah, general consensus is still the same there. Good swath of 1 to 4 plus inches across much of South Central Michigan. New flood warning now coming in for Jackson.
Interesting.
Flood warning now for Ingham County as well. It's going to be extending the time on Kalamazoo as well. So the Portage River near Kalamazoo until 2 p.m. on July 12th. So that's about 3 days out for the Kalamazoo flood warning. Flood warning for the Grand River at Jackson until July 11th at 1:25 in the morning. So about 2 more days on that. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get. Yep. So that's the. Okay, then a flood warning for the Sycamore Creek at Holt as well. So 3 new flood warnings coming in here as we get another one coming in, it looks like, as well. So new flood warnings coming in, guys. We have a lot more to get through. So once again, guys, just going to end this. If you happen to live in low-lying areas or close to rivers or creeks that are prone to flooding, make sure you have a plan in place to leave your house just in case. Again, not trying to spark, fear here, but just make sure you're prepared if you live close to a low-lying area or a flood-prone area by rivers, creeks, lakes, stuff like that easily floods out. It has a history of flooding out. Just be smart, guys. That's all we're going to try and tell you here.
What you're seeing on the map is a projected run of rainfall totals, and this is just from the HRRR, so it's just 1 mile run. Lighter amounts are going to be in your greens. Your heavier amounts are going to be in your reds and even blues.
I just took it off the screen. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was going to peek at the wrap here real quick and see if that showed anything much different. That's only out until, that's not going to do much anything. But it also has that Southeast Michigan swath starting here as well. Like the models have been consistent on that Southeast Michigan swath.
How much rain does an average heavy thunderstorm produce? So an average heavy thunderstorm can produce 1 inch or 2 inches per hour if it kind of stalls over the same area. However, we're going to get that more as in across an entire time frame. So kind of like a winter storm. Kind of pretend like if this was winter right now, like Chandler was saying, we'd be seeing, probably maybe even a foot of snow. There's some heavy amounts, but treat it as it's going to be over a wide period of time. With heavier storms, though, you can get 1 inch or 2 per hour within it. So that's why you have some isolated pockets there showing up in about 4 to 6 inches possible. And again, this is just an estimate of where the heaviest band is going to be. Again, you could maybe see a spot in here where it says maybe 1.5 inches, and that place could get up to 4 inches. So we kind of want to make it broad for you guys just to expect somewhere in the medium range of 3 to 5 across most of the area in lower Michigan. Stop swearing. The S word. Ryan, you're muted.
I'm going to point this out here real quick with the new flood advisory or flood warnings coming in, should I say. Go over some of these areas once again. The new flood warnings coming in here near Holt, between Lansing and Holt here. This is going to be the Grand River, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be in effect for quite some time, 26 hours it says. So there's one flood warning. This is going to be for the Grand River at Jackson, affecting Jackson County. That's the wrong county. This one is in Jackson County. Sycamore Creek at Holt. So they have these reversed. These should be reversed. So flood warnings here, one for Grand River in Holt County, Sycamore Creek in Jackson County, it should be, if I'm not mistaken. Impacts at 15 feet. Expect flooding of residences along High Street, Lewis Street, and Losey Street. High water would disrupt traffic and damage residences. So there you go. And then additional details at 7:30. Tuesday, the stage was 10.9 feet. Bank full is 13 feet. The river will rise above the flood stage of 14 before cresting near 15 feet. So that's going to cause some issues there. Is it? Okay. Okay, then it's correct then, guys. It seemed confusing there because the Grand River I know runs through Ingham County as well. So.
Yeah, we are also talking about the Red Cedar there as well. But yeah, the Grand River does go through Jackson County.
I should know that, but I don't.
People are so off top. You guys want me to dance? You guys want me to say SMR?
Goodness gracious.
It's not even late night MSC yet. Remember, that usually occurs when there's nothing going on and we're covering, severe weather.
Grand Rapids has extended the time of the flood advisory for Calhoun, Eaton, and Ingham counties, as well as Jackson and Kalamazoo and Van Buren. They're extending that further. Expires in 7 minutes, but looks like they extended that once again here until figure out. Until 10 a.m. So the flood advisory now goes until tomorrow morning for Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun, Jackson, I believe Eaton and Ingham County as well. Yes.
Again, this is just starting. So if you guys haven't gotten anything yet, that's because it hasn't gotten to you yet.
About midnight tonight, you can expect it to start.
The heaviest, yeah. Is it just flood warning or potential for tornadoes? Asking for our friends. It can be both. The best chance for anything that would be tornadic would be tomorrow after daybreak is kind of what we're rolling in right now. So, and again, when we get that instability kind of ramp up tomorrow in the center of the low, which will be around southeast Michigan. It just depends on how close to it actually is. We got Jelly Ninja becoming a part of our team here at MSC. Thank you, Jelly Ninja, for your support of our channel. Appreciate you, and we hope you stick around.
Looking at their current radar, that band of looks like a little bit perhaps of not really heavy, but heavier rain pushing up into the southern tier counties here from Monroe, Lenawee into Hillsdale, Branch, all the way across back toward Berrien. So a little bit moderate to heavier rainfall filling in the state. But again, we have a lot more coming, guys, and that's going to be moving in heaviest closer to midnight.
Yep, and main hazard will be that heavy rain. Thunderstorms can mix in for sure.
Yes.
Ryan, I might have to make it one of those threat wheels that we used to make.
Do it.
It has like the meters on it out of 10.
The graphics should be up there where we usually keep them.
Mm-hmm. Could be a good late night graphic for y'all who are staying up late with us. We'll make it for probably daybreak tomorrow and beyond because that's when most of the rain will hit. I mean, it'll rain overnight tonight, but we're talking for like severe as well added on. Can we see the big duck and get a squeak, Ryan?
Who said that?
I think Amanda. And tornadoes after daybreak tomorrow, potentially. Very low chance, though.
And for the east side of the state. No severe tonight is expected.
Just make it too loud.
There.
Let's see what else we got here.
No dawn. I don't think it's going to be that type of night. I got to go to bed, though. I got to get up early. I think Joel will be here for the majority of the night, though. Maybe. We'll see.
Only got 4 hours of sleep last night. Yeah, same story for pretty much everyone in terms of rain. Expect around 3 to 5 inches for most of the area. It could be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending where you are. But a safe bet is 3 to 5 inches. Any severe will be pretty much dawn tomorrow and later. And that, again, would be damaging winds, because when you get closer to the center of that low moving in, damaging winds do occur because the isobars are close together. And then secondary threat would be a chance for a brief spin-up tornado. And that would be like, on the ground for like 2 minutes or something like that. So nothing like what Indiana had today. Indiana's a little bit closer to the better ingredients down there. We're a little bit too far north. But again, we'll still have a lot of shear. So classic spinning rain showers, perhaps. That's a good note. Make sure your sump pumps are working if you have them in your basement. Severe would be confined to southeast Michigan tomorrow, if anything. Again, if you guys don't have a way to receive warning, you can download that emergency app that we always mention all the time here. It's called Emergency by Red Cross. It is free to download on your app store. What are fighting words? They do EAS for, I think, flash flood warnings, not regular flood warnings, though. Flash floods are reserved for semi to actual life-threatening situations where rain just floods really, really quickly. Or rain falls like 4 inches in like an hour, like something extreme. Heaviest rain will fall overnight into midday tomorrow, as well as part of the afternoon. It'll exit from west to east. If you leave a cup outside, I'll get free water. Yeah, it's one way to do it. Again, most of the area right now is under a flood watch, which means conditions are favorable for flooding conditions to develop. Doesn't mean they're occurring, but they could occur in hours or minutes time, and that's when they would issue a warning if flooding is ongoing. So again, if you do have, similar to severe weather outbreaks and stuff like that, the MPing app is another way to report what you're seeing. And again, any flooding damage, any flooding pictures you can send it right to the National Weather Service. We'll take them as well and relay them if need be in our messenger. But again, you can go ahead and tag them on X or Twitter. And depending where you live in the state, that would be National Weather Service Grand Rapids, National Weather Service Detroit, National Weather Service Northern Indiana, or National Weather Service Gaylord if you live further north. What you're looking at right now is projected rainfall totals on the state of Michigan. You can kind of see the mitten underneath it there. And it's a county map. So if you know what your county kind of looks like or where it's positioned on the map, you're doing yourself a huge favor. And again, we live in Michigan, so you can kind of point to your hand as well. So Detroit right there. Grand Rapids over there. It's kind of an example. No severe convective outlooks yet for us. And although I will say, Ryan, I did see marginals butts up really close to Michigan for overnight tonight.
Oh, tonight, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
not tomorrow.
Counties away.
Yeah, tomorrow it's off to the east.
Yeah, so tonight it's about 2 or 3 kinds away. So it's out of the 25-mile point, but it's still close by. That ends at 8 o'clock. So after 8 o'clock, it very well could shift a little bit further north there as well. So.
Oh my goodness. Jas is back with her awesome 50 gifted memberships. And Jas is awesome as always. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. Again, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, we say this all the time. It's free to do. As long as you turn on gifted memberships, you have a chance at getting a 1-month membership here at MSC. So again, thank you, Jas, for your support.
I do want to point that out as well. That's her, I think, 3rd time she's done that today. I think she's done 150 today alone. So with the stream that we had set up in case of severe today, we had Jas and their gifting memberships as well. So Thank you, Jas.
And we only have 16,000 of you guys from Facebook that actually subscribe on YouTube. So you have a really good chance if you do subscribe on YouTube to get a gifted membership.
Yes.
A lot of people asking about specific locations. Again, the story is kind of the same for everyone, across, especially in southern Michigan. It's going to be heavy rains as your main storyline. 3 to 5 inches. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. So the extremes would be 1.5 inches on one side to maybe 6 or 7 inches on the other side. Just depends on where the heaviest of band sets up. So expect, it could be a little bit more than what we're projecting here. So just be ready. Yes, as Julie mentioned, our Amazon wish list is fixed now. Rumbles of thunder. We have thunder coming in, Ryan.
Doesn't surprise me. Where at?
It's Brittany that said it. If I take a look at the radar, I could just try and guess.
I don't see anything on Omega.
Could be
Perhaps,
south of Michigan.
I'm thinking perhaps Hillsdale County or Branch.
Mm-hmm. And for those who are just tuning in, severe chances. I know there's a lot of people asking about severe for this. Again, the main hazard is flooding, but severe will be confined to tomorrow after daybreak. So tonight should be in the clear for severe. Start to kind of zone in on that tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon, where the center of the low passes yet to be determined. But on the east side of the low is usually where the best chance for storms to kind of spin up and curl around will be. And again, that would be confined to southeast Michigan at the current time. But again, flooding is the main possibility. If you want to take your radar, Ryan, go for it, because I think there's a lot of people that are wondering when it's supposed to start. It's actually starting right now for southern Michigan, at least.
Kind of starting. I have a break after this line, but the real big heavy rains are down here still taking shape. Right down here across south central Indiana and Ohio. This is all going to form and push our way over the next several hours. It should reach us by about midnight.
You also have heavy banding off there to the west. That's going to affect western portions of the state too. So if you go over to Illinois, there's a lot of rain there in Illinois.
Yep.
Classic kind of slow-moving low pressure system, kind of similar to snowstorms. All that stuff on the west side kind of is the meat and bones of the precip.
Yep.
But what we're watching for on that east side would be the severe for tomorrow morning.
Here's a $5 super chat from Pacify ASMR. It says, why does Wayne County downriver area seem to get less tornadoes? I wouldn't say they get less tornadoes. I can give you an example of last year. We had like 5 tornadoes all within Wayne County. You had Canton, you had Gibraltar, you had Monroe there as well. Like you had many tornadoes. But I will say sometimes in the early parts of the spring, Lake Erie can have an effect. If it's too cold, it can affect some severe setups. But during summer times, there's no one thing that stops severe weather, especially tornadoes, from happening. And that goes for anywhere here in the state. So overall, there's nothing. But some systems can get stalled out from Lake Erie.
Yeah, it really depends on where the best slim always sets up for each system, and it can depend. Like you could have it be a completely capped environment, kind of like we saw on the Gaylord Day about 2 years ago. It was a completely capped environment downstate, but all that slim kind of came together up in northern Lower Michigan, which was an interesting day, and that produced that EF3. So again, and that can happen anywhere at any time, depending on where the system moves through. So yeah, and again, thank you, Passify, for that $4.99 super chat. Normal people morning or like 10 a.m. Yeah, I probably should have clarified because I'm not the morning person. Yeah, after sunup, so probably about 6 to 7 a.m. or later. That's the best chance. Kind of starts ramping up a little bit. Got a new member, Kyle Mose. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for your support of the team here. And welcome to the team, most importantly. Appreciate your support.
Thank you, Kyle.
And for those who are watching on YouTube, if you do become a channel member, you do get access to our stickers or whatever they're called, the emojis, right?
They're called stickers, but
The stickers, yeah. Totally optional, though. What's up with the kitties? That is one of the stickers, is my cat, so. Cat's name is Hurricane, ironically enough. There's a lot of comments in here, so trying to get some of them, but they are flying in from both Facebook and YouTube. So apologize if I miss you. If you do send a super chat, it does get highlighted for us, so we'd be able to see it easier. But again, totally optional. Branch, definitely a lot of rain. You'll get it first down there at the border.
You should be getting rain right now as we speak.
Mm-hmm. This will go throughout most of your day Wednesday. So again, expect Wednesday to be a big washout for everybody. So don't expect to have too many crazy plans. I just realized, Ryan, the Mississippi River, all those flood warnings over there. Did you see that? I just randomly noticed that.
It's let's track this real quick. About 500 miles worth of flood warnings.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Safe bet, though, with Beryl depositing so much water. We're talking trillions and trillions of gallons of water.
It's conditional, J-Man. That's why there's no risk in place. It's highly conditional. We could very well wake up tomorrow to a risk, but again, it's very highly dependent on the amount of instability available.
It's gonna be raining all night, so depending on when you leave, it shouldn't matter no matter what, because it's already gonna been raining. I will say maybe allow more time to go to work because it will be flooded out there in some low-lying areas. So take that in mind. You could have roads closed, so you might have to enact a backup route. So allow yourself probably double time tomorrow, especially if you know your route is affected by flooding most often.
And also, don't be stupid and drive through floodwaters.
Correct.
Just please don't. We don't want to have to post your vehicle on our page.
No.
As bad as a joke that is, but just be smart.
Yep. Yes, please know all caps in chat. Appreciate you not doing that. Tornadoes, low chance, though. It would be confined to southeast Michigan. Skylar, this storm has dissipated a lot. It's pretty much a low pressure system at this point. Because it was associated with a hurricane, they call it post-tropical depression. Which is basically like the lowest thing you could get naming wise out of a hurricane, which means peak winds are like 30, 35 miles per hour, which is basically, nothing to rant about, I guess you could say. But what's keeping it intact is the moisture advection from the Gulf. And the storm traveled all the way from pretty much Africa. It's traveled a long ways. Tomorrow morning, J-Man. But it's going to be very conditional. Like Ryan was saying, marginal risk probably not going to be likely. Again, we'll just have to stay on our toes and watch out for anything that does go severe, like we usually do. It's the theme here in Michigan. We have over 800 of you guys in here between YouTube and Facebook right now. So if you haven't hit that like button yet, I do appreciate it. Again, if you're new to this channel, welcome, of course. If you haven't hit the follow button yet, we're here always tracking every severe warning in the state. We got you. Maybe an exception this time for flash flooding. We'll see, though. If there's like a flash flood emergency, we might go live. But obviously, we hope that's never the case.
Right. Are you going to be here tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock, Joel?
Yeah. I don't still have my vehicle.
Because I got to be up in Ann Arbor, so if there's anything flooding-wise going on there, I may shoot. If it's locally, obviously, I'm not going to travel for this, but
right,
as long as you got home base.
Mm-hmm. Might just have to call me if I fall asleep. Hopefully I don't go crazy, fall asleep, but
take a nap.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try and do before this goes crazy. Yes, if Kent County were to get 2 inches of rain in a short period of time, you could see a flood warning. Like Lansing today saw 3, maybe 3.5 inches, and they got a flood warning. So, are you able to pull up storm total accumulation so far, Ryan, on Radar Omega, or no?
Yeah, I can, although it may not be very accurate. I have to kind of go section by section.
Yeah.
I'm also lagging really hard, so bear with me here.
You can also pull up the mrms.nssl.noaa.gov thing.
We'll use
go to Crest. Of course, that doesn't show that well information. I would just go to your source.
Yeah, so this is the aerial flood advisory here, Schoolcraft area, Vicksburg area, sorry, but all the way from Schoolcraft back down here through Berrien, Cass County, 1 to 4 inches plus in some of these spots via radar here. And that's why you have the flood advisory and flood warnings in effect. Calhoun County as well. Looks like Battle Creek missed out on the heaviest rain for now. Again, more is coming. So keep that in mind as well. Jackson, west side of Jackson getting hit hardest there. Let's go ahead and go up here to Grand Rapids and check to see if it's any different on this radar. Not really. And here's your Lansing area. The East Lansing area, 4.5 inches there by Okemos and East Lansing. And then over here in Genesee and Macomb counties, you guys had some flood advisories today as well. As evident here, there's your big old blob of accumulation. A BOA. Big old blob of accumulation. Boba.
Mm-hmm.
Bob and a boba. But anyway, that's Genesee County. Lapeer County had a few patches here of 1 to 2 as well. So scattered in nature. Definitely centered here around 94 corridor from Jackson County back through Kalamazoo County into Berrien as well.
I learned the hard way. Okemos is Okamis. Tell me about it. No, this is not going to be a repeat of August 24, 2023, Caitlin. This is if you're around from the 9th of June of 2020, it's going to be similar to that, which we had. That was the last time we had remains of a tropical storm in Michigan. That was Cristobal.
I do think she might be referring to the 23rd. We had all that rain there across southeast Michigan.
Okay.
I don't think she's referring to the severe side. I think she's referring to the flooding side. So
Gotcha.
the flooding, it shouldn't be that bad. This, especially further south and east. Again, updated models are kind of trending more east. We're about to kind of keep an eye on that. But right now, the expectation is for most of the heaviest to stay out of the Metro Detroit area. So you should be okay. This shouldn't be as bad.
So the reason I probably says heavy thunderstorms is because it's actually going to be just heavy precipitation. So again, that's going to be your main threat tonight. Probably a good night to open the windows. Of course, it's still going to be humid out there, all that tropical air.
Yeah. Tomorrow will be at least cool, mid 70s, humid, but mid 70s.
Mm-hmm. June 2020, June 9th, 2020 was Tropical Storm Cristobal, yes. That was kind of, it wasn't as much rain, honestly. It was a drier tropical system, if I recall, but that had more of a severe side of things because it took more of a western track, whereas this one's taking more of an eastern track. And so all that severe is going to be shifted way off to the east, might clip southeast Michigan, but at this point, it's looking like it's going to be mainly rain. But again, if it goes severe, we'll be here. It's our motto. Got you from beginning to end. Anytime there's a severe warning. Ooh, when did the Tittabawassee River and all those dams fail? That wasn't that after a snowstorm and then rain?
I don't recall how it happened, but I think that was 21.
Mm-hmm. See. You guys need your own TV channel.
Working on it.
A lot of.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you remember what year flood in Grand Rapids? There's photos, videos from. There was a couple times in the last couple of years. I remember, I think 2013 was the worst, but that was because of snow. And there was, I think 3 years. I think 2021 was along the same time as the dams failing as well. It was like the last time. Yes, there has been a lot of tornadoes so far due to Beryl. But again, that's because they're a lot closer to the Gulf. A lot easier to pull in all those ingredients is slim. And we're a little bit further away, so it's got a long way to pull in that tropical air. We still have that tropical air. It's just going to be a little bit weaker. No way, no TV channel. How I commit my lame commentary and jokes. Well, it would just be like a unmanned thing. We would still do like briefings and stuff, but it would just be there for your general viewing pleasure anytime we are absent. So like a live radar and then educational videos and stuff like that. That's kind of like the plan right now.
We got a lot of good things planned for you guys. It's just going to take us some time to get there.
Mm-hmm. Paramount Plus, but instead MSC Plus. I like that idea. It would totally be free though. It'd probably just be displaying on the YouTube channel 24/7. because Facebook we only allowed to do 8 hours on. Figured that out last year. Yes, with jazz music. UK models on something it has barrel strengthening to not possible. Not possible. The Great Lakes don't have that much of an influence on tropical storms. The only time that happened was the Huron cane back in the 60s or whatever. We will be live in the event of severe and or like life-threatening flash flooding, but otherwise we will not be live all night. I do want to get some sort of like nap in before I'm up most of the later half of the night or whatever. So
Yes.
was it the 90s we had the Huron cane? My own friends are fact checking me on this, so interesting. Take an energy drink. I don't usually drink energy drinks often. I like Powerade. And if you've checked out the wish list, I like protein powder. So that's on there for me, basically. Nick's got the Red Bull. You guys are so nice. A lot of nice comments in here tonight. You guys are awesome. What was the name of the first hurricane this year? I don't even think it got to hurricane strength. It was an A. Whatever the A name was. But I think it only got to tropical storm status and then dissipated. It's tough, Roberta. We have a lot of places that are also dry right now and in need of the rain. But yeah, for sure, we don't want to see any of that flooding because crops will suffer for sure. So thinking about you guys. We're also thinking about the people that are living in these low-lying areas too. Make sure you have a way to keep an eye on that tonight if you guys live in very flood-prone areas, of course. Yes, our Amazon wish list is back to normal. We had some people trolling us.
And that's not going to happen again either. Been in contact with Amazon. We fixed that problem. So there should not be any more issues going forward. If you want to check out our Amazon wish list, it is the link in chat here. Feel free to. It's not required. It's all optional, but all the stuff on there would help us out a lot. Both us here on Michigan Storm Chasers, also our partner chasers as well. Equipment, electronics, snack foods, just general things that would make better content, really.
Yep. Every item is a future purchase for us, either way. So it's all something that we plan on getting someday. Everything you see in there. They didn't hack it per se. They put everything in what was called like a reserved list or something like that, or whatever it's called, I guess. And as a result, it counted it as bought.
And that's an option that we did not have on our end of things, but Amazon did turn that off for us. So going forward, that shouldn't be an issue. Yes, there is, Lynn. Yes, there is.
Downpour in White Pigeon, Southwest Michigan. Yep, that's have one of the heavier bands coming in right now. You can see there in radar.
There you go. It's only just getting started, guys. The worst of it's still to form down there in central Indiana. Zooming back down here to the south, all this rain is going to congeal and push northward towards us overnight. So it's starting to take shape now, but this is all going to congeal into one big blob of rain.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Lagging hard.
Flood warning is possible for anyone. Anyone that's under a flood watch could see a flood warning. If watches conditions are favorable, flood warning means flooding is ongoing.
I also want to say, Lenawee, Monroe, Hillsdale, you're not in a flood or watch right now, but do pay attention as well, just because you guys are close to the heaviest swath of rain, so could very well see some flooding in those counties. Marnie, thank you for becoming a channel member. Appreciate your support. Welcome to the team.
Welcome to the team. Ryan, do we still have a boat on the wish list? I thought we took that off. It was on there as a joke.
We didn't have a boat on there.
Oh, V-Red says you have a boat on the wish list, apparently.
Nope.
So I was thinking it was on there as a joke, but interesting. Am I hallucinating or am I hearing thunder in Martin, Allegan County?
Let's scroll up there and find out. I don't see anything on the radar. Wouldn't think it's going to be lightning up there. Not impossible, but
yeah, there's some of the heavier bands are coming your way. So it could be like a light rolling thunder, especially if there's a little bit of instability out there. When do you trust local weather channels and when not to? They don't make this out to be a very big deal. With that comment, I will say, first of all, those guys went to school for meteorology, so they are reliable. Sometimes they have to kind of, be careful what they say. They don't want to freak everybody out. We certainly try not to freak you guys out, but we do want to communicate the risks and the probabilities. So sometimes when you see 3 to 5 inches, it can be scary, but at least you know what's going to happen. And we don't downplay it for you guys. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, you have multiple sources you can trust. Those guys are just as good as us, especially when they went to school for it. So. The national weather, so TV channels that are nationally covered, so Weather Channel, Weather Nation, they do a good job, but again, they focus on national side of things, so they don't, they kind of brush us over a little bit, and you guys have seen that a lot, so. $4.99 super chat from Kendall. I have to work at Penina Music Theater in Clarkston tomorrow. Is it going to be a rain out? I would say yes. Most of the day tomorrow will be rainy. As mentioned previously here in this same live stream, most of the day tomorrow will be a rain out, especially if you live south of US 10. The rain will then end from west to east as the day goes on into the evening. So, did you want to run the Futurecast loop real quick, or the HRRR maybe?
Sure can. I'll do it right from here.
Since it's been a while.
So what I'm going to end up doing is closing out my other tabs here and then scroll this in. There we go.
Whoa.
All right, this should operate. Okay, a lot better. Cool. Let's go to the latest HRRR. There we go. This is your Futurecast here. So here's 11 o'clock tonight. So about 45 minutes. Here's midnight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where it stops. 8 in the morning right there. So it's going to rain all night. and most all morning for most of us.
When does it stop? I know that's been a common question too.
Wednesday night late. Although some
There
of you
you go.
guys will get out of the rain before others. Southeast Michigan, especially, I think would be the drier side of things. The whole entire state should be out of the rain by early Thursday morning.
Do we have chasers out at night? Depends on availability. If not, we'll just be here in the studio tracking no matter what, even if we don't have any chasers on the ground. Flooding is hard to track, but again, if it happens in their area, they may go out and just give it a look. But again, it's all moving water, so.
There shouldn't be too much lightning with this. It should just be general rain for you guys. Don't rule out a thunder or rumble of thunder or two, but it should be mainly rain and heavier rain.
Mm-hmm. Kevin has a really funny comment. Appreciate that, Kevin. But we know a lot of the news meteorologists as well, so we're friends with them.
Yeah, a lot of the guys that we talk and connect with, they're really good people. They're really knowledgeable, and don't discredit them.
Yep. We appreciate the bias though from some of you guys. Sky Alexandra has an email for us. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I'll take a peek at that.
Okay. She's in here in chat. The video is currently sitting unlisted on YouTube right now from the Claire chase. I got to get that sent in, but it's finished, and I'll get it put out for review. Possible risk for tornadoes would be tomorrow after dawn.
It's east side of the state.
East side of the state, yep. I do not have my mic on me. I have not been to Mount Pleasant in forever. Been stuck downstate here since my car's been broken.
Well, I have one over here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I dare use it?
Up to you.
ASMR is your thing. JG becoming a channel member. Appreciate your support, JG. Welcome to the team.
Thank you for support, JG. Canoe to work or jet ski?
Canoe, no, kayak. You got a kayak.
Kayak, yeah. Canoe is a little hard to maneuver. Dawn, I'm so sorry. Your name is a time of the day, but I keep saying it. If you're looking for speed, though, jet ski would be a preference. Just, it might be too shallow. Look, if you guys want to donate $10,000 for a new vehicle, go for it. But I'm fine. Like it's fixed. It's just I gotta go pick it up now.
Looks like this rain is a little bit increasing in intensity here as it pushes northward too, especially here in St. Joseph and Branch counties. So a bit of a downpour going there. Skylar, $2 super chat. Here's to help fix your car, Joel. Thanks, Skylar.
Thank you, Skylar.
You can thank Jas for that gift membership. She's one who's gifted those today.
Muskegon might be on the lighter end of things. Solid chat for Muskegon in here. Could be closer to the 1 to 3 inch mark. I keep saying inches, and I keep thinking this is like a snowstorm. So my mind defaults back to it. We haven't had a good soaking like this in a while.
3 to 5 inches of accumulation of heavy wet snow. I mean rain.
Mm-hmm. Suspension issues, Amanda. And for those who may just be tuning in, any severe threat would be winds and perhaps a brief spin up, and that is going to be southeast Michigan after sunrise tomorrow. I won't say dawn, just to make you happy, Dawn, our awesome moderator. One of our awesome moderators, of course. We have a great team of moderators here. We appreciate y'all. But we have, Ryan, we've been live an hour 17. We still have a good crowd here of 700 of you guys between both platforms. You guys are anxious, excited, nervous for this system tonight, but we got you guys covered.
What y'all doing up at 10:30 with us?
They just want to see MSC After Dark. I don't blame them.
Let's see if we can name the duck. We got 700 people in here. Might as well name it Heo. Got a good crowd.
Mm-hmm. DS, if our Amazon wishlist account is set up though, so that when something is purchased, it comes off the list. That is correct. We do. Not picking favorites, Julie. There's no favorites here. I was shouting out everybody. Tuning in, severe threat. Again, southeast Michigan after sunrise tomorrow. Overnight tonight, you guys can rest pretty soundly, unless you live in like a very low-lying area where flooding is possible. Trapped at my parents' house. Like a couple counties, Devin. So like Monroe, Wayne, Macomb. It could get into like Oakland, Washtenaw, Lenawee. It could really be any of those southeast Michigan counties, but the closer you are to Lake Erie, the better chance for severe. How do you know if you're low lying? Well, one way to check is to see where you are in relation to a creek or a river. If there's one like pretty much right outside your house, that could be a reason. If you have like a really flat yard with no good drainage, it's another probably low-lying area, especially if your ground's already very saturated. Saturated. Wow. Words. Might have to take a break, Ryan.
If you live near a river or a ravine, anything that would collect water. Trying to think of this through. Also maps of elevation you can check as well. But overall, if you lived at your location long enough, you should know where stuff locally floods usually. So if you don't really have a history of flooding in your location, you should be good.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there are extreme circumstances, but low-lying areas are more so just near creeks, rivers, some lakes, et cetera, et cetera.
Emmett County. Wow. Thank you for tuning in from up north. Emmett County is not as much of a flood risk tonight. Tonight and tomorrow, I should say. Probably under an inch of rain for you guys. Yeah, you guys should be able to sleep soundly tonight. We'll start tracking severe around sunrise tomorrow. So it's like after 6 a.m., after 7 a.m., something like that. But again, that's going to be confined again to southeast Michigan. Keep reiterating that. It would be one good snowstorm. That has been the common theme everyone keeps asking. Thunderstorms possible. There could be a couple thunderstorms embedded within the massive rain you're seeing on your screen. But instability will be very low throughout the night, and so that's going to hinder thunderstorm development. So most of you guys tonight are just going to see a deluge of rain. Suggestions for people with no sump pump that have a basement.
Buy one.
Obviously, you can't do that tonight, but you could go to sleep, set it in increments. Again, your basement shouldn't flood 17 feet tall in even in big flooding events. You might see like a layer of water on the ground that might be like an inch or two deep. So just keep an eye on it, but it shouldn't be too bad unless you have like an open vent into your basement for some reason.
I think the more so focus should be, if you don't have a sump pump and you're worried about flooding or you're prone to flooding, get your valuables and stuff out of the basement. Anything you want to save at this point. And then in the future, obviously, if you have the resources, look to try to get that solved for future. My family here, we have a sump pump here, but we didn't have a check valve in. For example, we had a big basement flood back in 20 years ago. We got that fixed and have not had any problems since. So, but our basement here used to flood. Like I remember 2 or 3 times we had floods. But once you get that fixed, it's less concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you're worried about getting water out of there, shop vacs are good. Obviously, if you could have a sump pump to borrow, or if you could go buy one, that can help you too. What do you think, Joel? Do you want to wrap this up soon or keep going?
We'll probably jump off here for a little bit. Again, let the rain kind of move in. Maybe take a little bit of a nap or sleep.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. But we'll be active here tomorrow, keeping track of everything, and also overnight too. We're not going to let this just go. We'll be watching it. But regardless, guys, expect rain overnight. Severe chances tonight are very low. Anything severe would happen on the very far southeast side of the state toward the Ontario, Lake Erie area. That'd be a damaging wind and perhaps a brief tornado over there, but only if conditions are right tomorrow. We'll watch it very closely. All right. I don't see any further questions here that need answering here. So we're going to pop out of here, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. If you have not done so already, smash the like button on your way out. If you have not done so already as well, feel free to hit subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to push toward 20,000 subscribers.
So you can see me dance.
Yeah, Joel dances at every big milestone we do. So we're trying to push toward 20K. We're trying to get there by the end of the month. So feel free to smash the like button. It is free. Subscribing is also free. So optional, but we appreciate every single one of you who subscribes and likes and shares. So with that being said, we're going to pop out of here. Expect some updates on the page through the overnight hours. And then also tomorrow morning for anything severe, if we're thinking it's going to be severe, we'll hop on here and do a little bit of a briefing. So we got you guys covered. So you guys have a safe night, stay dry, and enjoy the nice, peaceful, or should be peaceful rain.
Yes. Have a good night, everybody. Maybe see you soon.